Florida's story begins over 14,000 years ago, when Paleo-Indians roamed a much larger, drier peninsula. Imagine hunting mastodons with stone tools under the blazing Florida sun, no theme parks in sight. Over time, powerful native tribes like the Calusa, Timucua, and Apalachee rose. These weren't just scattered groups. They had organized societies, fishing networks, and political structures. In 1513, Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de León arrived, claiming the land for Spain and calling it La Florida. He was actually looking for the fountain of youth. So yes, Florida's history starts with a tourism ad. Spain's colonization attempts were rough. Native resistance and pirate attacks kept things chaotic. Not exactly an all-inclusive resort stay. In 1565, the Spanish founded St. Augustine, now the oldest continuously inhabited European city in the continental U.S. That's over 450 years of history, older than Jamestown, Plymouth, or even Santa Fe. Throughout the 1600s and 1700s, Florida was tugged between Spain, Britain, and back again. Think of it as the colonial world's hot potato. In 1763, Spain gave Florida to Britain after the 7 Years' War, but took it back in 1783. Spoiler, neither side asked the locals. In 1821, the U.S. officially acquired Florida from Spain via the Adams-Onís Treaty. At this point, the U.S. was on a roll expanding west and south. Florida became a U.S. territory, and in 1845 it became the 27th state. Cue the Swamplands salesmen and sugar plantations. Conflict brewed fast, especially with the Seminole tribe, who resisted removal to Oklahoma. 3 wars followed. The Second Seminole War was the longest and bloodiest of all Indian wars. During the Civil War, Florida seceded and joined the Confederacy. Its role? A massive supplier of salt and beef. Strange, but crucial. Post-war Reconstruction was slow. Florida remained poor, rural, and politically unstable. It was basically the Deep South with better weather. Enter the Gilded Age, and Florida found its new identity: railroads and real estate. Tycoon Henry Flagler built rail lines and resorts all the way to Key West. Talk about beachfront property. The 1920s brought a land boom and then a bust. People were buying swampland they'd never seen. It didn't end well. The Great Depression hit hard, but World War II revived Florida's economy. Military bases, shipyards, and returning GIs laid the foundation for modern growth. After the war, air conditioning and interstate highways turned Florida into a retirement mecca. If you've ever wondered why your grandparents moved there, this is why. In 1971, Walt Disney World opened outside Orlando, transforming the state forever. From oranges to mouse ears, what a pivot. Soon, theme parks, resorts, and tourism became the core of Florida's economy. It's no longer just sunshine, it's show business. At the same time, Cape Canaveral became home to NASA and the U.S. space program. From the moon landings to Mars missions, rockets keep flying from the Space Coast. In the late 20th century, immigration reshaped Florida's identity. Cubans, Haitians, Dominicans, and Latin Americans built vibrant communities, especially in Miami. But Florida also faced challenges: Hurricanes Andrew, Irma, and Ian, rising sea levels, and growing political divides. Florida man memes aside, the real issues run deep. Today, Florida is the 3rd most populous state in the U.S., known for its diversity, contradictions, and growth. It's where rocket launches, Everglades gators, and retirees all coexist, sometimes on the same street. As Florida grew, racial tensions and segregation laws deeply impacted African American communities. The state's beaches weren't always for everyone. Many Black Floridians were barred from public spaces. The Rosewood Massacre of 1923, where a thriving black town was destroyed, remains a haunting chapter in Florida's history. For decades, this tragedy was hidden, but it's finally being acknowledged and taught. Florida also played a role in the civil rights movement, with activists staging sit-ins, protests, and marches. From Tallahassee to St. Augustine, brave voices demanded change. In 2000, Florida became infamous worldwide during the Bush versus Gore presidential election. The term hanging chads will forever haunt the state's reputation for ballot design. The razor-thin results led to weeks of recounts, lawsuits, and Supreme Court drama. Florida wasn't just in the news, it was the news. In the 21st century, climate change and urban sprawl have tested the state's infrastructure. Flooding, king tides, and insurance hikes are part of daily life now. Yet Florida's cities have exploded in size and influence. Miami is a Latin American cultural capital. Orlando is a tourism magnet. Tampa is booming with tech and sports pride. Latin culture, especially Cuban influence in Miami, has shaped food, music, and politics. From cafecito to salsa beats, the flavor of Florida has global roots. The state is also home to a large retiree population, leading the nation in senior migration. It's not just a joke. There are literally more golf carts than taxis in some counties. In recent years, Florida has become a political battleground and a frequent headline maker. Whether it's education policy, pandemic responses, or election law, the eyes of the country are often watching Florida. Hurricanes continue to leave their mark, both physically and emotionally. Every few years, the state braces for impact and then rebuilds stronger, but not without cost. Despite this, Florida's economy is one of the largest in the U.S., driven by tourism, agriculture, aerospace, and real estate. Oranges, rockets, and roller coasters make up a weirdly successful trio. Florida also has one of the largest university systems, with major institutions like UF, FSU, UCF, and FIU producing research and talent. Don't underestimate the brainpower behind all that beach life. Natural beauty still defines much of the state. The Everglades, the Keys, springs, coral reefs, and beaches attract millions annually. It's one of the only places where you can go airboating and scuba diving in the same day. Indigenous groups like the Miccosukee and Seminole tribes continue to live, lead, and operate sovereign land and businesses. The Seminole tribe even owns the Hard Rock brand globally. Florida's story is still unfolding, shaped by growth, controversy, innovation, and resilience. It's messy, it's fascinating, and it's never boring. Florida isn't just beaches and palm trees. It's ancient, complex, and still redefining itself every day. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the ride through Florida's wild history, hit like and subscribe for more.